All right, here we go. Welcome into the big picture, y'all. It is that time of the week. It is Monday night, and it is 8 days until decision time. 8 days to decide where this country is going to go. And we're going to go heavy in that direction tonight. Plus, we're going to cover a lot of things. And, of course, Uncle Jimmy's on his way with some crazy, crazy stuff. Let's go. Big Picture Live is on the air. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Come on, go ahead and smash that like button. Smash it, smash it, smash it. You know what to do. You know what to do. Oh, yeah. Everybody I can see is filling up the live chat quickly tonight. That's awesome. We want to see people coming in tonight. It's going to be crazy. And, of course, tonight we're talking about the fact that, you know, you and I both know they want chaos. They want chaos. That's what they're counting on. And I got a feeling, I hope I'm wrong, but I got a feeling they're going to get that. They're going to get chaos, not just chaos in deciding who's going to win the election, but chaos in the streets that could spill over into more than just chaos, that could spill over into riots in the street. And I hope and I'm praying that there will not be loss of life. But I got a feeling that, I'm trying to be doom and gloom here, y'all, but I feel like that we got some big stuff coming. There's some serious demonic spirits that's going on right now, and this is more than an election. This is a decision. I mean, this is not just a decision for the White House. This is a decision for the direction of our country, and you know, here's what it is, and. You know, what this election has done, and quite frankly, what she has done in the things that she has said towards the god of Moloch, I'm just going to call it like it is, and how they're running on a predominant platform of worshiping Moloch, and I think most people know what I'm talking about. It's caused me to get a little more bold in my statements here. You know, I'm not openly saying go vote for this person or anything like that. But I am telling you, and I'm going to show you tonight, that you have a very clear decision. And it's difficult for me to wrap my head around anyone that could watch what's happening, especially in the closing moments of this election, the things that are being said. I mean, like, you know, calling him Hitler, calling the rally that they had the other night as a Nazi rally and all of that. It's just, it's a sign of desperation, but it's more than that. It's a sign of the spiritual intent that's here. You know, there's a lot of spiritual things going on. Now, am I saying that Donald Trump and all the Republicans are spiritually where they need to be? Absolutely not. But I'm gonna tell you, when you put them side by side, I think it's pretty clear, y'all. It's pretty clear. And now I'm gonna talk to you tonight for those that are disgusted on both ends, that have decided that you're just not going to vote. I'm going to talk to you guys tonight about that as well. Now it's going to be a little bit different program. It's not just going to be news. It's going to be news as well as commentary, and we're going to share our hearts on some things. Like I said, just go ahead. If you hadn't smashed that like button, smash it now. Help us out. We are still in the process. You know, I've been out of town for several days. Just came in this morning and into our new studio. You know, you can tell we've got to work on our Zoom and our camera placement. So we just hadn't had a lot of time to work on things. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. All right. So just go ahead and put them on. We're doing live testing right now. All right. Keep okay. Talking. Keep talking.
Too loud.
Is that better? Talk to me.
Okay. Go up. Come up.
Keep telling me.
It's all the way off.
Keep talking.
Okay.
Oh, you're all right. Keep talking.
Okay.
Is that good?
I'm good. You were killing me. You were super loud.
All right. So
thank you for that adjustment.
We're adjusting earphones right on the fly, y'all. We didn't have time to do that.
I have been in a 3-minute battle with these new earbuds. They have so much coil in them. I couldn't get them to stay in my ear.
That chaos just happened. It didn't even allow me to give you your proper introduction like I usually do. So let's try this again. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all welcome the Queen is in the house.
Oh, thanks, babe. I'm glad to be back.
And our dog Cookie is in the room.
Cookie, I'm so sorry you
Cookie.
can't see. Well, you can see her tail.
You see her tail. That's Cookie.
That's Cookie. That was
Now-
my dad's dog that we
Yeah.
have taken in. So.
Yeah, so they all know AJ, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they've been
Yeah.
properly introduced to Cookie yet.
No, they
Come
haven't.
here, Cookie. Come here, girl.
And
Come here.
hopefully they can get an even closer, better look at Cookie and AJ next week.
Can you
Is
see
she
her?
in? Barely. She's not really in. Okay.
That's Cookie.
We're
She's
gonna
a sweet
hopefully
girl.
they're gonna be decked out next Tuesday for the
Oh, are you talking about
for the big event.
the election night coverage? Woo-hoo!
Come on.
Man, it's going to be
Yeah.
awesome. Y'all, you better go ahead and make your plans right now because we are going
Exactly.
live at 6 p.m. Central Time.
Oh,
and,
yeah. It's
and
gonna
we're-
be a get the popcorn event.
I
so-
mean, you realize we're going to be on here at least 4 hours.
Oh, I know.
We've committed to go to 10. You know, that's what we've committed to.
Right.
And who knows? Let me just tell you something right now. If it's 10 o'clock and it's on the verge of something, I don't care what I got going the next day. We ain't going off the air.
So okay, so
just
10
you
o'clock
know.
is a fate statement on your part. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But you and I both know that it would be a miracle. I mean, a miracle of all miracles if something is called by then.
What are you saying? They're gonna pull out all the stops?
Well, they're already saying that it's going to be 5 to 7
Yes,
days.
we've been talking about that for weeks.
On some of these states. How did we our whole life be raised in elections that people actually voted and
In
it was
these
over
last days, we've raised up profits even in the media, right?
with? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're telling you up front it's going to cost that. It's going to take that much time. Well, so let's just get into some stuff
Please,
tonight.
let's
All
do
right.
it.
All right. So
I've had a busy day. Had another ladies' lunch today. Powerful meeting. Appreciate the opportunity to gather with the women. You
Yes,
just got
yes.
home today.
yes,
Hit the ground running
Yes.
from the airport.
yes. It's
Crazy
been
times.
Been crazy time.
Crazy times. But you had a good week. Good weekend.
Had a good weekend, and some of you guys were following my trip
Right,
to
great
Chicago, to
opportunity.
Chi-Town, and of course I did cover. I showed everybody I had my first experience with a Chicago deep dish pizza.
Exactly.
And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't impressed.
Well,
I wasn't impressed.
I was watching that closely, and I was like, wow, he's trying to be positive, but he really is not loving this.
It looked impressive, but I was not impressed.
Well, I could tell.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the news tonight. Now, most of you know this. This was everywhere. The big Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah.
Y'all, I don't know if you've watched it. I've watched the whole thing, and it took me about 3 days to watch it, 2 days to watch it. But Trump appears on the Joe Rogan Experience for a 3-hour marathon interview.
How about that?
And the question is, could you imagine Kamala doing this, which was what he said on the broadcast.
Hey, I heard him say that.
But former President Donald Trump spoke about how being a politician is a very dangerous business during an interview with Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan Experience. Now, during the interview, Rogan told Trump that one of the beautiful things about him is that he holds huge events and just talks, adding that Trump had comedic instincts. Trump added that in the business of politics, you need to have the attitude of a comedian, adding that it's a dangerous and tough business. Well, yeah, you almost got shot, taken out twice. One of the beautiful things about you is you free ball, Rogan said. You get out and you do these huge events and you're just talking. We've highlighted you on the show many times when you did these Biden impressions where you walked around and didn't know where he's going. It's funny. It's stand-up. It's funny stuff. And you're making fun of Elon one time. It's great. You have a comedic instincts. It's like you said to Hillary, you'd be in jail. That was great timing. But it's like that kind of stuff was unheard of in a politician, like no one had ever done that. So it goes on, and Sandy, I don't know how much of this you've watched.
Not much. Just basically the beginning part. My ears are trying to go out. Make sure I'm plugged in all the way. By no means did I watch the majority of this, but I did at least want to get some of it in because I was so very interested. Do we have what are the numbers as far as views?
Well, let's look at. We'll just go live right now on YouTube.
I'm sure.
Now we will get hit by him, so I'm gonna mute it.
I'm sure a lot of people jumped in on that, right?
So right now it's 35,613,691 views. Let's put this on. Put this so everybody can see that. I don't know if it's got its tiny numbers there,
Right.
But yeah, 35,613,600. It's just on YouTube, and his predominant viewership is on Spotify. So this is just YouTube.
Just YouTube.
By the way, just think of the millions of people that's reposted this.
Exactly.
That it's probably well over 100 million
if
views
you
now.
want to talk market share, if you even want to talk comparison to the other candidate, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy. What percentage of the market was drawn to this?
Oh,
and
yeah.
how does viewership of this compare with any viewership of anything that his opponent
it's
has
the number
done?
one. I mean, no mainstream media can compete with this. I mean, the numbers.
Yeah.
You take CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News primetime and put them all together, and you still don't have as much views as you have on something like this from Joe Rogan. And here's the thing that was genius about it: it was free.
Yeah,
it didn't cost anything. I mean, how much kind of exposure would that have cost?
So,
it's genius.
So this was a huge weekend. You had, I don't know what day that dropped, but obviously, was it yesterday? The big Times Square.
Yesterday,
I
yes.
mean, what a 2 or 3 day run that this campaign has had. Wow.
Yeah. That was just last night. It moves so fast now. It's like it just feels like the Joe Rogan interview was a week ago, but it was Saturday.
I know. Literally 2 days ago, and then
Saturday.
yesterday, the big rally. Look what kind of commotion and noise this campaign has made in just 2 days. It's insane.
Well, we're going to show you a series of news events that, I don't want to, we don't need to just get in comfort zone here if you're voting in that direction.
Right.
But it appears that people on the other side can see the handwriting on the wall. And they are beginning to
that
panic.
Tone has really been developing over the last 2 weeks, right? I asked you today, do you feel like, from what you're seeing, from what you're hearing, that for their side, like the other side, the Democratic side, that it's a foregone conclusion to them that they're going to lose?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You're taking in more opinions and more different news sites and streams right now that I'm able to do, so I don't have as broad of a spectrum as you do.
Well, let's go from the attitude of this, that this is when you start hearing them. By the way, let me back up. Back up and say, you didn't bring my coffee. I don't understand. I don't understand why you didn't bring my wide awake coffee. I saw it in the refrigerator.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I could duck out and go get you one.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna let you go this time.
Okay.
But when they start pulling out the Hitler line and the Nazis and all that, that's panic. That's panic mode. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you're winning and your numbers are telling you that you're winning, you don't finish the last week like that.
You're not going to go to those kind of extremes. I mean, we've already felt the non-love. I don't want to use the HATE word, but we felt that between the two different campaigns, and they've said a lot of different things. But you want to go out that far on a limb? I mean,
that's desperation. Yeah. So the other thing that they're talking about is, and they've been talking about this for a while, but they're ramping up the Hitler word and the Nazi word, and then they're talking about unrest and civil war. That is very, very prominent. So
when you start talking about civil war, that kind of triggers me.
Yeah.
That makes me go into thinking not just desperation, but are we even talking predictive programming now?
Yeah.
Are we laying a groundwork, a foundation?
Yeah.
For because certain words just take me to certain places. We've had a year of that movie.
Yeah, right.
Using that word in general,
right.
or a lot, or maybe not in general, specifically to something that might be coming. And now you want to start using that word?
Yeah.
This close to election
let's get into it. So this is where the American people are. Roughly a quarter of Americans believe a post-election civil war is likely. So we got 25% of Americans.
This is Wine Press. They're they're a good news site.
that believe in a post-election civil war is likely. Around 27% of Americans believe a civil war is likely to break out after the upcoming U.S. presidential election, according to a recent YouGov poll, with supporters of both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris expressing similar concerns. A significant number of Americans fear the upcoming election could lead to political violence, with 6% stating that a second civil war is very likely and 21% saying it is somewhat likely. Roughly equal proportions of Trump and Harris supporters thought a civil war was at least likely. According to the survey done October 18th through the 21st, of the 1,266 respondents, 12% said they know someone who might take up arms if they believe Republican candidate Trump was cheated out of a victory, while 5% reported knowing someone who would do the same in the Democrat rival Harris. Pollsters also asked about gun ownership, but found no correlation in perceptions to whether civil war was likely. The poll highlighted deep divisions within American society, with 84% of voters agreeing that the country is more divided than it was 10 years ago.
Everybody would agree to that.
I think
but
that
at
should
the
be 100%,
top,
yeah.
You said each side
Equally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're talking about it, is 6% said very likely, not unrest. You understand? This is not riots. This is civil war.
Right.
This is people taking up arms against fellow citizens.
It's
that is what's being pushed.
It's inconceivable, right?
It is
that could happen in our country. Even what we've already lived through, what we saw for the last basically 4 years.
Yeah.
But to think that could actually happen in the streets, some of the streets of some of our cities.
Well, you used the word inconceivable, but we've learned inconceivable can become conceivable in the generation that we live in quickly. Because I'm telling you, as I led tonight, if you came in late, I was very unashamed to do this tonight. We're going with the angle tonight, and we're going to go with the angle quite a bit on this channel, is that we are not in a political season. We are in a heightened spiritual warfare, demonic season.
It's like a portal got opened some way.
You better believe it.
Some way back. I don't know exactly when, but it's like we turned a corner.
And we ain't playing on this channel. Y'all know I don't play with that kind of stuff, and we're going to call it out, and we're going to tell it like it is. Right. And you can call me political if you want to, but before I'm anything, before I was ever on YouTube, y'all, I've been preaching the gospel for 35 years. And I am not become a reporter all of a sudden. No. I'm still a preacher.
Exactly.
All right, so this is from Breitbart here. It says, report, brace for unrest if Donald Trump wins. Democrats warn.
See, now when you want to title your article that, I'm sorry, but that is very leading.
It's very leading, yeah. Well, but all they're doing is quoting the Democrats. Americans should prepare for unrest if former President Donald Trump completes the greatest political comeback in modern American politics, Democrats told the Wall Street Journal on Monday. The potential for Democrats to perpetuate political violence undermines their narrative that Republicans, and especially the America First movement, are a threat to democracy. Quote, I think there will be some violence. I think there will be workplace fights. There'll be fights at kids' birthday parties. I think there'll be protests that will turn violent. Mark Halperin, which is a very prominent liberal, told Tucker Carlson. Resistance groups, according to the journal's Joshua Chafin and Valerie Berlin, believe citizens should be bracing for unrest if Trump wins. Across America, this is from the article, more than a dozen progressives in various positions of influence told the Wall Street Journal that they are dreading the prospect of Trump's return to power and dismayed that half the country might see a completely different reality than they see. Some are bracing for unrest, and on a recent evening, more than 200 people joined a Zoom meeting titled Mass Training for Women's Safety Teams, hosted by Women's March veteran who noted in timing amid escalating political violence. Others are channeling the nervousness into action. They are planning to attend women's marches scheduled in Washington and beyond on the Saturday before the election. That's the same thing they did before, remember? Mm-hmm. In Boston, they are joining, watch this. This is what I'm talking about, the demonic side here. In Boston, they are joining pill-packing parties where volunteers fill boxes of abortion kits to mail to women in red states with strict limits. Quote, we feel like we're doing something, said Erin Gately, a 47-year-old physician assistant who last time took to the streets to protest after Trump's election, but says this time she would focus on tangible actions like protecting reproductive rights. And I want to say this right now. I'm just going to say it right now. I'll read it, but I'm not calling it reproductive rights. If it's in the article, I'll read it, but that's how they change the wording.
Exactly.
It is not reproductive rights. No. It is the taking the life of an unborn child, and it is the worship of Moloch. You better talk now before I'm about to preach.
I told you the other day, I'm sick of that too. Let's stop dumbing this down and softening it up. They want it, okay? Why is this the hill that every Democrat wants to die on?
Say that.
Right?
Say that.
This is the hill that they've chosen to die on.
You better believe it.
Others that I listen to call this the oil that lubricates the machine of Washington, D.C.
Woo.
The blood of our unborn children.
My Lord. Go ahead, flag us. We're getting flagged left and right. We don't care.
I think, it's not brave or heroic for us to sit here and call it what it is. We just need to call it what it is.
My Lord, baby. That deserves that right there. Yes. Y'all better show some love for the queen. She ain't playing. But y'all, that is true. Wow, what a statement. The hill that they have chosen to die on. And it really is.
It is. And we all know that. We all know that. And it's not a new thing. This is a decades-long thing.
I saw an interview with Kamala Harris, and the question, I was very surprised. I think it might have been CBS. It could have been NBC. I can't remember. But it was an organization that I would never dream would actually ask a question. And they asked the question about the border, about... you're now saying you'll do something about the border, but you've been the vice president for 3 years. How can you say you're going to do something different? Her answer to the question on the border was, well, I just want you to know that I'm going to protect women's reproductive rights. And, there are some, there's some, she just literally answered, this is what you're talking about, the hill to die on.
And didn't she throw something about Donald Trump in there too?
Oh, yeah, she's always going to throw Donald Trump in there.
I was like,
but
wow.
It's like, you're going to answer a border question with a reproductive rights question. Answer your word, not mine. And because that is the hill they die. So their internal polling says to them, there's just no doubt this is what it is. The only issue that we have that we're winning on is taking the life of unborn children.
Well, clearly, if we're going to make kits...
Yeah.
And make sure
parties.
We enclose the pills in the kits that we can give out and hand out and mail out or whatever they're going to do. I mean, if you needed any further evidence, there you have it.
Well, I'm going to show you something tonight where it's some of these doctors, so-called doctors, that are performing these acts. They're possessed of the devil. But y'all, this is where it's going. That's when we call it demonic. That's when we say that this is look, understand? I'm gonna say it again. I hate that I have to keep saying this because people come in late, and we live in the world now that when it's out there on the internet, it's out there on the internet. Yes. You can chop me up and make me say all kinds of things. I am not saying that Donald Trump is a saint. I am not saying that Republicans are right. In fact, Donald Trump is even backed up on his pro-life stance. Than where he was. But he's still more pro-life.
Had to, if you want to use the word renounce, he used to be for abortion.
Absolutely.
He's not been that long that he's been so-called against it or whatever.
Yeah, and he was a lifelong Democrat until he ran for president. Exactly. And from the first term to this term, he's not as pro-life as he was. Yeah. But the reality is this. You want to talk about pro-life, you want to make that the hill to die on. He's a lot more closer to where you and I stand, most of the people watching this, than anybody that we've ever had in our lifetime. And quite frankly, here's the thing. His legacy, if he don't ever do anything right again, his legacy was those 3 Supreme Court justices that he put on there that overturned Roe v. Wade. And that would have never happened without Donald Trump. And we're going to talk about the Supreme Court tonight, too, because whoever wins, because, by the way, Kamala Harris can win. Let's not forget that. Do not think in a moment that we're trying to tell you that she cannot win. She can win. Put it this way, she can be proclaimed a winner. That's all I'm going to say.
It seems like, it feels like she's going down, that her chances are diminishing every day, but
it seemed that way last time too.
Right.
When I went to bed, it was, in my opinion, it was over.
Yeah.
Donald Trump was the president. I woke up the next day and somebody's water pipes busted, and lo and behold, here come millions of votes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, as much as I would like for this to be a slam dunk, it may be a nail biter.
Oh, it's going to be a nail biter. They're going to make it a nail biter. This is what I predict. Even in some of these states like Arizona, Georgia, and some others, they got people that are so corrupt. They're going to see the totals, and even if the totals are a landslide, they're still going to put out, we need time to count the votes. There's more votes coming in, and they're going to delay, and they're going to just hope they can do something. Even if they have the numbers that are overwhelming, they're just not going to report them. That's my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. Well,
it's all a wait and see. But every day we're one day closer, so here we go.
All right, so look, not only did Joe Rogan interview a president with no teleprompter and no notes, and one of the things you got to watch, because I know you hadn't watched much of it.
I haven't watched it all.
They are both huge boxing fans. Y'all, if you've watched it, then you know what I'm about to say.
Okay.
I'm not really a big boxing fan, to be honest with you. I'm not an MMA guy. I'm not a boxing guy. I mean, I'll watch it, but I've never been real big on it. But they're both huge in that. And one statement was made by Rogan about you've been good to the sport of boxing. They go on, I'm not kidding you, a 25 or 30 minute historical breakdown of the greatest fighters in the history that people I've never heard of. They're both popping off names. Donald Trump is popping off. He went down in the third round by K. I mean, they're saying things that no one should be able to watch that and question his mental acuity. Y'all, he was pulling things, and Rogan was blown away by it, the knowledge that they had. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I don't even care about what y'all are talking about, but I'm just amazed by this. And then he, of course, does the viral clip that went, and he goes, can you imagine Kamala Harris doing this? And Joe Rogan, he goes, yes, I could imagine her doing it. I think she would do a great job. I would treat her with respect. I've asked her to come. She had a scheduling conflict. And Donald Trump said, she'd be laying on the floor over there calling for a medic. She could never do it. Y'all, it was a must see. But now that was Saturday. Right. And then you blink your eyes, in the most iconic stadium in the world.
He's in the garden.
He's in the garden. Y'all, Trump's rally at the Madison Square Garden.
And how many hours long was this?
Oh, it started at 4:00 our time,
and it went on and on. I don't know how long.
I don't know. It was unbelievable. It was many hours.
Yeah.
I don't know how long he spoke, but Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a diverse sea of patriotic Americans. Here's how the mainstream media covered it: Dr. Phil, Elon Musk, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Hulk Hogan, Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Dana White were just a few. This is just a few of the speakers at the Donald Trump's Madison Square Garden event in New York City on Sunday night. A full house of 20,000 attendees. You know, they said 75,000 people were outside.
No.
Yes.
How many were inside?
20,000 capacity.
And 75?
75,000 were outside.
More than 3 times what?
Those were just a few of the speakers. Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. So here's some pictures to describe the crowd in the event. Speaker held this right here is what I was talking to some of my pastor friends about last night, is that this part didn't make the mainstream because this happened before the big names come on, but they called in several pastors and priests and all this to come up to bless the house. And, you know, it wasn't that long ago that somebody yelled, Jesus is Lord at her rally.
Hello.
And she said, you're at the wrong rally. It's the rally down the street. So you got somebody holding up Jesus, preaching about Jesus.
Well, you talk about a polar opposites.
Yeah.
That
polar opposites.
That's one very strong point right there of just complete opposites.
Yeah.
To have someone praying over and blessing this rally, this function, and at the other one down the street, totally rejecting and telling you from the microphone, you're at the wrong rally.
And I love that our Monday night numbers will go from 500 live viewers to 350 viewers in 2 seconds. Yeah. So we know what you're doing out there, Mr. Algorithm. But you know what? We ain't going to stop. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. But, you know, that the narrative was this was the Nazi rally and all this was just stupid. Look at this. If it was a Nazi rally, it's the world's worst Nazi rally because there were Israel flags everywhere. You know, here's a Holocaust survivor at the Madison Square Garden rally.
Actual Holocaust survivor.
Yeah. Oh, he wasn't the only one. There's multiple ones that were there that endorsed him. There's Israeli flags everywhere. Literal dancing Israelis at Madison Square Garden. I mean, this is part of the 75,000 that are outside. These are Jews, you know, at this horrible, horrible Nazi rally. Look at that crowd. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, I don't even know how to comprehend. How you going to say that this guy is not going to win? This is bigger than 2016. I mean, these numbers, nobody has ever done this before. He's not a God. He's not saved. But look, let's give the man credit. No one has ever pulled this many people together like this.
And another contrast, which, okay, so I don't know how much money he spent during his campaign this time, but just a few hours ago, you were telling me in 90 days, the other party has burned through 1.3 billion. 90 days.
Since she became the candidate, they have spent 1 point, did you say 3?
I think you told me 1.3.
3. Well, it was on the radio.
Okay.
We heard it on the radio. They were talking about it on
I wasn't
local.
paying attention. And you repeated it.
Yeah.
Well, if texting fees or any... If we want to, I've gotten a text from that campaign. Don't know how, almost every day.
Well, how about this?
And I'm like, how am I receiving these?
I don't know if I've even told you this. What's been happening to our show? I get multiple comments every week that when they watch it on the replay and they play the commercial because our show is monetized. Almost every 10 minutes, there's a Kamala commercial.
We apologize in advance.
There's never a Trump
We
commercial.
apologize in advance. We have no control over that, and we are not in agreement with it.
Yeah, we do not place ads on our thing. That's just automatic. Oh, y'all, this speech right here, I watched this before I went to
Call
church.
911. He just set it on fire.
Look, let's watch a little bit of this.
If you want to seal the border, vote Trump. If you want to restore law and order in this country, vote Trump. If you want to grow the economy in this country, vote Trump. If you want to revive national pride in this country, vote Trump. If you want to stay out of World War III in this country, vote Trump. If you want to make America great again, vote Trump. I'm going to give you one more reason to vote Trump, and it's this. It's the one the media in the back, they won't talk about this. But they know it to be true. Donald Trump is actually the president who will unite this country, actually. And we don't talk about that enough. America First includes all Americans, regardless of their race, their gender, or their sexual orientation.
Hey.
True statement.
Where's the lie? Where's the lie? Show me the lie. Vivek just roasted them. Watch this, Sandy. Got Muslims.
Good afternoon, Michiganders.
This is the Muslims.
As the president said, we just had a positive meeting with President Trump. We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace.
Y'all know I don't promote Muslim faith, okay, Islamic faith. But y'all, remember when he was Islamophobic? He's the one that invented the word and you got Muslims endorsing him.
Yeah.
How's he not going to win? I don't understand.
Well,
Christians, Jews, Muslims, Hindus, pro wrestlers, talk show hosts, rocket scientists, union workers, entrepreneurs, and even the Kennedys. But this is how the media covered that unity. Racist rally. Speaker supporting Trump at MSG event. Insult Puerto Ricans, blacks, Jews, and Harris. They're down but not out. That's the Yankees. Sorry, that's another. But watch this. This is the front page of what is that? The New York Daily News. But watch this right here. This was the one that took the cake, y'all. I don't know if you've seen this. This is going to make your blood boil. MSNBC directly compares Donald Trump's Madison Square Garden to the 1939 Nazi rally directly compares Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler. You got to start coding those words too, I think. You don't hate the media enough. Watch this. Listen to this, y'all. This was not on YouTube. This was not on Rumble. This was on MSNBC while this rally was going on.
But that jamboree happening right now, you see it there on your screen, in that place is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally. A rally where speakers voiced anti-Semitic rhetoric from a stage draped with Nazi banners. When a Jewish protester rushed the stage, the Associated Press reported, quote, instantly, a dozen or more stormtroopers set upon him, knocking him down and beating him as he held his head in his arms. Most of his clothing was torn from his body. Later, he was booked for disorderly conduct. Now, against that backdrop of history, Donald Trump, the man who has threatened to use the military against opponents he calls enemies from within, who has threatened to use the troops to quell what he says are lawless cities, and to use those troops to carry out mass deportations of immigrants, is once again turning Madison Square Garden into a staging ground for extremism.
Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So this was aired on MSNBC. And so how are you going to do that and tell him to tamp down the temperature?
Yeah.
And he's been assassinated attempt twice, possibly 3 times, and then you're going to tell the world. Let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. If you knew somebody was I better be careful because I almost said something that y'all can sort of figure out what I was going to say. I was going to try to do like assassination, and I was going to say Hitler, but it would have not come out good. So I got to do like, I'm going to call him Bitler.
Oh.
And if you knew somebody was really equivalent of that, would you put out a tweet after somebody tried to take him out and say, our prayers are with former President Donald Trump. We're glad that he's okay. I don't think most people would be glad that Bitler was okay. I think if he was the real Bitler, they really believed that, they would not put out that because they don't really believe that. But they've been told this is our only shot.
Right.
Y'all, this is ridiculous that MSNBC played that. And the one that introduced this, let's not forget, the one that introduced this narrative was none other than Hillary Clinton.
Right.
She went on the air and told everybody and reminded everybody about the Madison Square Garden in the 1930s of the event, and it started the narrative. They all got their talking points.
Sure.
It's sickening.
Yeah. Do you think that was her original idea, or do you think that was cooked up and she was chosen to present that? But I think we need to alert the authorities. Somebody needs to do a welfare check because I haven't heard or seen Joe Biden in several days.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm about to blow your mind.
Oh.
I saw him last week, and y'all, this was not Joe Biden.
Oh, what? What?
I cannot believe that I do not have this.
I cannot believe you're saying this.
Let me tell you what he did. He's coming out of the White House. This was last week. He he sort of jogs over to the press corps.
Jogs over?
Yeah, a slight jog.
Okay.
And they ask him a question, and he tells them where he's going. And he goes, that's what I'm going to do. It's where I'm headed right now. And y'all go watch the video. He runs to the chopper in a sprint. A man that can barely walk takes off running.
Can't find his way off the stage, needs assistance downstairs, and takes off running. Really? Wow. Okay.
Have y'all seen the clip? I want somebody in the live chat to tell me if y'all hadn't seen the clip. I was like, y'all, that's not Joe Biden.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask everybody this. Is there an attempt to keep us in a constant state of confusion?
Yes.
He can barely string enough words together to make a few sentences. Then he's on a stage screaming for 45 minutes in a speech. Then he can't find his way to the stairs to get down the stairs off the stage without assistance. Then he's running across the lawn to the helicopter. What?
Yeah. How many Joe Bidens are there?
I think there's multiple. I think I've made that clear for a while
Yes,
now.
you have. Y'all, I'm beginning to think that we're being played by body doubles left and right, and fake.
Wait a minute.
Fake pregnancies.
Are you the real?
Yeah.
Are you the real dude?
I'm not AI. I'm not AI.
Are you the real Larry Ragland?
I'm the real deal. If you ain't figured that out by now, they broke the mold, baby. They ain't another one.
Woo! But seriously, every once in a while, I just feel like someone should go do a welfare check, but I don't see anything on him for several days. I mean, you would think he would be finding enough interest and energy to go support his vice president.
Well, the
to
news
support this person for president.
The news is coming out today that he's been banned. The Harris campaign has banned him. They've said, we don't want you anymore. You're killing us. For the final week, don't be seen anywhere with our candidate. That's the news that's come out now.
Michelle Atwood said it was the other brother Biden. Okay, maybe.
Hey, I saw a video this week that's leaked. I'm like, you never know what's real, but it's been because the big thing was Beyonce, showed up at that big rally in Houston, and all these people thought Beyonce was going to sing, and she get up there and she didn't sing. And y'all, they're trying to hide it, but there is people from high up top filming it, that the moment that Beyonce got through and walked off, there was hundreds of people just started walking out.
They got mad and left.
They got mad. Well, the whole Beyonce thing created this going back into, you've seen these clips where everybody has to thank Beyonce because of the, and all that kind of stuff. And, so
we're going to pass out code sheets next week.
Yeah, exactly. And all that kind of stuff. By the way, I'm only doing this because of them. I'm not one. Okay, I'm not one. But they showed this video of her fake pregnancy. Have you seen that video where she goes in for that interview and she sits down and her belly just
deflates? I've seen that one. I've seen the one when she was dancing in the other country, and that's years ago, obviously. I think she was supposedly pregnant with the twins then. Yeah. I've seen all that. Yeah. Very interesting. Very funny.
We're going on a lot of rabbit trails tonight, but we got to get back.
We can always count on you for that.
Focus.
Maybe me too.
Axios admits the establishment media lost control of the elective narrative. When I show you this list, I'm so thankful they put this list together. Yeah. So we can be reminded of what a very, in my opinion, effective 4 years of Donald Trump was able to be pulled off with this kind of mess going on.
Okay.
All right. So Axios admits establishment media lost control of an elective narrative. The establishment media control over framing the election narrative is shattered. Axios's Jim Van Day and Mike Allen acknowledged Monday. The report confirms Gallup polling saying that Americans' trust in the media is at an all-time low. For years, the media has pushed false narratives that involve Hunter Biden's laptop story, Russian collusion, the source of the 2020 and the January investigation, and numerous other hoaxes. Let's just go down this is not even an exhaustive list of the things that they have done since Orange Man came to Washington. Russia collusion hoax. Hands up, don't shoot hoax. These are the ones that have been proven to be hoax. Jussie Smollett hoax. Covington KKK kids hoax. Very fine people hoax, which is still being promoted, even though even the liberal Snopes has said it is a hoax. 7 Hour Gap hoax. I don't know what that means. Russian bounties. I think it has to do with J6. Russian bounties hoax. Trump trashes troops hoax. Policemen killed at mostly peaceful protest hoax. Rittenhouse hoax. Eating while, what does that mean? Eating while blacks hoax? I don't know what that means. Border agents whipping illegal hoax. Remember that one? They was whipping them up. That was a hoax. NASCAR noose hoax. Remember that? Was that Talladega? It was a hoax. The Georgia Jim Crow 2.0 hoax. Trump assaulted Secret Service agents and grabbed the steering wheel of the Beast Cadillac or whatever it is. Hoax. MAGA assaulted Paul Pelosi hoax. COVID lab leak theory is racist hoax. Hunter Biden's laptop is Russian disinformation hoax. Joe Biden will never ban gas stoves hoax. COVID deaths are overcounted in conspiracy theory hoax. Mass graves of Native children in Canada hoax. The Trump killed all the fish hoax. Trump told people to drink bleach hoax. Hamas hospital hoax. If reelected, Trump will execute people hoax. The Alpha Bank hoax. What is that? Libs of TikTok murdered non-binary teen hoax, the Aaron Rodgers Sandy Hook truther hoax, and the bloodbath hoax. That's just a few of the things that he's had to deal with.
And several of those, I need someone to come and explain to me even what.
These are things that, y'all, I'm going to tell you right now, if I was Donald Trump, I would tell the people of America and the media, y'all crazy. I'm done with y'all. I ain't doing this. I ain't got long on this earth. I'm an old man. I got grandkids.
Exactly.
I'm not doing this again.
I got a business I need to be running.
But y'all, he just don't care. It's like sick him to a dog, I guess. The more they try to stop him, the more he's got to win. Remember when he said, we're going to win. There's going to be so much winning. You're going to
get tired of all this winning.
We're tired of all this winning. Stop the winning. Too much winning.
Wow. Of course, that was before they went into Melania's underwear drawer, but I don't know.
Wow.
That would have done a lot of us in, okay?
Yeah.
Stay out of my closet.
Exactly.
But no, he stuck around for even more. Whatever.
But the article is pointing out that the mainstream media's dominance in the narrative and reality shaping in presidential elections shattered this year in 2024. The future of news and information is upon us. Welcome to the shards of the glass election and news era.
Wow. Let's read that again. That's kind of crazy.
Welcome to the shards of glass election and news era. And that's what I think the Joe Rogan did. The Joe Rogan interview drove the nail in the coffin of the mainstream media.
Wow.
I believe that's what it did. Never again. Never again.
That's a great way of putting it. Would you say the, I don't know what generation, but certainly younger people than us, I don't know what their descriptor would be.
Gen Z, Gen X.
They're not watching the evening news.
No,
they don't go to traditional news. Even probably majority percentage of our age group don't even do that anymore.
Right.
Then you've got these platforms and these programs like Joe Rogan and all these other people with all of their opinions.
Yeah.
I mean, they are what is killing it out there.
Yeah, they are.
They are pulling the market in, and that's what's being consumed.
Yeah, and the slip out narrative is that the orchestrator of all of this. Have you heard who's orchestrating all his podcast interviews and telling him where to go?
No, and I'm afraid of what you're going to say. Who? What?
Barron.
Oh,
Barron.
my goodness.
I've seen several news reports
18-year-old Barron?
Because he's young and he's listening to all these podcasts. He knows what everybody's listening to, and he's telling his dad. I mean, he's going on some crazy podcasts, y'all. I can't think of that one guy that's his whole stick is he's a redneck and he interviews people and he's funny. He's hilarious. I can't think of his name. Some of y'all know who I'm talking about. He went on his show, and some of these shows are raunchy. Some of these shows, because there's no regulations. There's no FTC and all that kind of stuff. They can say anything they want to say, basically, and especially on a podcast, not just YouTube. But Barron is telling him, Dad,
this is amazing.
You need to go here. You need to go here. This is where the guys are. This is where the teenagers are. This is where the Gen Z are. And he is listening to his son. He even said that in one interview. He's like, I'm here because Barron told me I'm supposed to be here. And I'm telling you, this young guy I mean, Barron's got a huge future ahead of him. There's
That
no telling.
is okay. Somebody's saying Theo Vaughn.
Yeah,
Is that who you're talking
that's
about?
who it is. Theo
Okay.
Vaughn. Theo Vaughn. Yeah, that's who it is. Yeah, yeah,
That's Sly Fox. My goodness.
yeah.
Well, he's like a secret agent, right?
Yeah. But go back to
Covert,
Trump.
undercover.
But go back to Trump.
He's got the 411 on this.
How old is he? How old is he? He's like,
Barron?
no, Trump.
78.
So you got a 78-year-old man that is set in his ways of how he runs a business and all this, but yet he's like Nick Saban at Alabama. He's like Nick Saban had a way of doing it, and then they start doing the run and gun. He wasn't used to that. He had never seen that. But you know what he did? He revamped.
He adjusted.
And he adjusted. And he goes,
Yep.
if I'm going to win, I got to go where they're going. And so you got this 78-year-old man
78-year-old, yep.
saying, okay, and he trusts his son and says, okay, wherever you tell me to go, I'm going to trust that you're not going to harm me and not harm what we're trying to do with our family.
Right.
And he's pliable enough to sit in a room with somebody that's in their 20s interviewing him.
You've got Don Jr. is probably mid 40s, something like that. Ivana's probably right at 40. And then Eric is a little younger than her, I think. So you've got, and Tiffany, I don't really see her that involved in any of the campaign stuff.
But did you know her mom? What's her name? Marla.
Marla Maples.
She put out a statement today in support of Trump. She said, let me say something about my dad. She shared a video. Marla Maples shared a video on X today.
Okay.
It said, let me show you something about my daughter's father that most of you don't know. And it was a clip of about 10 different clips of him giving honor to Jesus Christ. It was like, of all things for her to share, she shared that on X today.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's the typical religious thing. You know, he's just like, y'all know, we got to make sure we ask the boss, you know, the big guy upstairs. You know?
Big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. So I mean, you can say whatever you want to say about his past, but his family believes in him.
Did I say Ivana? Ivanka. Whatever. So she's obviously pulled back from her involvement for this campaign go around, but the older sons are very involved. And for Barron to start having that kind of influence is kind of crazy. And quite frankly, I'd heard someone, maybe it's Joseph Z. Did he say something about Barron?
Yeah, he did.
He did.
He did. He did.
He said something about Barron just last Saturday night.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Crazy.
Let's go back to, we're talking about rallies. Let's give equal time to Kamala, and let's talk
Equal time. Okay.
equal time. I mean, let's talk
All right.
about her rally.
Sure, let's go with that.
I mean, she had a rally too. She had a big, massive rally in Houston. Let's give her credit. There's a lot of people there. Some people might say that it was because of Beyonce. Some people might say that it was because of, some of the other people that was there. Who knows? But she did have a big crowd here. But I want to remind you that this was not a crowd called Kamala for America. This was not whatever. It was called the Rally to Protect Reproductive Rights.
Of course. You said you weren't going to say that anymore.
But I'm just telling you what it was called.
Okay.
I don't call it that. That's what they called it. So that's what they called it. And it was everywhere. It was a rally of tens of thousands of people to come together
On that one thing.
on that one thing. That, as you said earlier, the hill to die on.
Yep.
But now I want to show you something. And by the way, look at that camera over there when we're doing this.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
It says, do you think any of the 30 Shoshorshan doctors Kamala invited on stage? Some of y'all get mad at me because I do this, but just say it. Just say it. It's easy for you to say. I'm trying to keep a channel. Invited on stage, helped when someone in their rally needed a medic. Now, y'all, this was one of the most sickening things I'd ever seen. Friday night at what turned out to not be a Beyonce concert in Houston, Texas, Kamala Harris hosted a rally which ended up being all about Moloch. As part of her bloodthirsty campaign, she paraded, listen to this, 34 people who performed these acts onto the stage to encourage young people to vote for Kamala on what they call reproductive rights. We call the unaliving of beautiful unborn children, and demanded at this rally no limits. Well, while these people were on stage, Someone in the crowd needed medical attention. The results were perfect. So now they're in lab coats. They got stethoscopes on. But these are people whose hands, their hands, have taken the lives of thousands of children and their destinies and their purposes, and they're wearing their lab coats and they're being paraded as heroes.
Yeah.
These are not private physicians that happen to do this also. These are not surgeons. These are DRs, is what they call themselves, doctors, who perform these acts as their primary source of income. And they're filling the stage from one side to the left. And somebody in the crowd has a medical emergency.
Uh-huh.
You would say, is there a doctor in the house?
Exactly.
This happens while a doctor, air quotes, is speaking. Watch the response of the so-called doctors. Come on.
Necessarily becoming ill and dying. Nationwide, I think someone needs some medical assistance over here.
Everybody's looking around. Everybody's looking around. Can somebody do something? Can somebody do something? One person runs off the back, and everybody starts clapping for them. All these so-called doctors. Yeah. I mean, if you really care about life and about people and about their health, would you not have jumped off of that stage?
Well, that was an unfamiliar act for them. They're not used to saving people.
Lives. Oh, that's good. That's good right there. Exactly.
But seriously.
Sickening.
So my thought is, are they even really doctors? Are they just acting? Are they actors? Or are they so out of sync of providing help, saving people, that this is just completely foreign to them? Who knows?
Exactly. That was unbelievable. I like what this person says. They don't know how to actually provide medical care. They're just trained to end innocent life. Wow.
That's certainly what I was thinking.
Wow.
Whew.
So that's me giving equal time to the rally.
Okay. So that's it.
So, well, maybe one more.
Okay.
The other side there, because we're trying to give them equal time. They have said that what they call reproductive rights, we call taking of unborn children.
Mm-hmm. They call it a fundamental right as well.
They say it is a fundamental right and refuses to allow for religious exemptions. Y'all, you would be shocked to know how many Christians and even pastors that are voting for this woman. Listen to her response.
Sure.
NBC News is trying to help her win over Christian voters. She doesn't care.
What concessions would be on the table? Religious exemptions, for example? Is that something that you would consider?
I don't think we should be making concessions when we're talking about a fundamental freedom to make decisions about your own body.
To Republicans like, for example, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, who would back something like this on a Democratic agenda if, in fact, Republicans control Congress, would you offer them an olive branch? Or is that off the table? Is that not an option for you?
I'm not going to engage in hypotheticals.
I think we need to play the beginning of that again.
Mm-hmm. In other words, again, I'm going to die on this hill.
Yeah.
Not backing down.
Absolutely.
Not backing up.
I mean, you had an opportunity right there. All you got to do is say, I'm open to discussion. I'm open to discussion.
There's no room here.
There's no room. They are worshiping at the god of Moloch. They are under a command from some demon spirit.
That's it right there.
I mean, you are. This is a religion. This is their sacrament.
It is.
This is their sacrament.
It is. Perfectly put. Wow.
Jesus, when he was doing the Lord's Supper, which had to do with his body and his blood, He said, "This is my body." And that was the holy sacrament. Their statement of their sacrament is, "This is my body."
Wow.
Let's listen to her one more time.
What concessions would be on the table? Religious exemptions, for example? Is that something that you would consider?
I don't think we should be making concessions when we're talking about a fundamental freedom to make decisions about your own body.
To Republicans.
So no concessions.
Nope.
No concessions whatsoever.
Exactly.
Because, you know, if
There's no wiggle room here.
here's the thing, y'all.
It's fast and final.
This is why this is a hill that they're dying on, is because it's their religion.
Yes. There you go.
Y'all, let me just tell you something. Right? The hill that I'm going to die on, his name is Jesus
Come
Christ.
on.
He's the way, the truth, and the life. So
Yes.
guess what? If that means I go under, I get kicked off because I'm unapologetically a believer in Jesus Christ, so be it.
Yep.
You're not going to corner me into saying that there's another way. There's only one way. So when it's your religion, and it's not my religion, I don't have religion, but when it's something that you worship, when it's something that you've given your life to,
Yes.
then guess what? There is no wiggle room. So there's no second guessing. To this day, there's not been an apology or even some kind of crazy explanation of "you're at the wrong rally" comment.
No.
I mean, could you not at least say, "Hey, I misunderstood those kids. You know, I disagreed with them. They were there to protest me."
Well,
and
if there was any confusion from that rally, that segment you just played, it was further evidence. That is the first and final thought of this administration.
Exactly.
It's the hill they're going to die on. It is their religion, as you said.
Unbelievable. Well, let's talk about where the election is right now. This is NBC News. Of course, we know is not kind to the former president. But early voting has begun, which I hate this early voting thing. Some of y'all may love it, enjoy it, but
Yeah, some of our people have
I
let
get
us
it.
know that they've already
And look, I'm not saying that it's bad that you did that.
No,
I
not
mean,
at all.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't do it either. Our state doesn't do it. But I don't like it. I don't like it. I like what Vivek Ramaswamy said when he said, "I think we need to make it a national holiday, shut everything down, let everybody be off work that day, so there's no excuse. You got your first responders and all that still has the ability to vote somehow otherwise, but people should go to the polls and have work not as an excuse, school not as an excuse. You should be able to go to the polls." But early voting has begun in states across the country where voters are able to cast their ballots either in person or via mail. Some states provide details about the early votes that are cast, including partisan divisions and age of voters, as well as voting method. Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign has pushed for Democratic voters to utilize early voting more aggressively, seen as a tactic to help bank votes ahead of Election Day. While former President Donald Trump has been critical of early voting, his campaign and the Republican Party have also been pushing for voters to cast their early votes. Now, watch this. 45,545,671 mail-in and early person votes have already been cast.
What percentage do you think that is?
I don't know, but that's just crazy.
That is, that's a lot more than I would have thought.
Me too. And it's
A lot higher than I would have
did
thought.
I say that right? That's 45,545,671, right?
I believe so.
Sometimes I get confused on numbers. But so they're saying, and this right here, even though it's 42% Democrat, 40% Republican, that is a huge difference than the last time. Last time it was 3-1. The Republicans, and they've got, these are the states that allow it, that are reporting it, and you can see the blue and the red, how they're trending right now.
Right.
And but here's what I want to show you: 60 million have been requested of the mail-in or early person votes. Don't mean they're going to be used, but they've been requested. Of the ones that are requested, 45% Democrat, 29% Republican.
45 Democrat, 29 Republican.
Yeah, is that what I said?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm reading
Yeah.
the graphic up there.
But this is what I want to show you. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna have to zoom out to get it. I think I do. Let's see, because there's a map.
What are you trying to get to? Okay.
There's a map. Oh, I think I know what I got. Yeah, I think I got to do this right here. Nope, that ain't it. That ain't it. Where's it at? There it is. Okay. All right. So where's the map? Where's the map? Where's the map?
Go back. Is that?
No, there was an actual map on here earlier.
Okay.
It's gone now.
Okay.
There was a map. I don't know what happened to the map. Maybe it's on the next one. Yeah, I think it's on this one. Okay. So that's the early voting. This is the top battleground averages. Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Nevada are what's known as the battleground states. So they've been tracking these. Basically, they're saying that you win the majority of these, you're going to win the presidency. And look at these. This
I'm
is
gonna have
not.
to look at this because I cannot read
Okay.
those tiny numbers up there on that.
Yeah, I'm
screen.
going to zoom it in a little bit. But every one of them's plus Trump, and it's like, so you got, they're very small, but you got 0.9, 1.5, 0.07, 0.3, 0.1, 0.5, 0.8, and then 2.3 in Georgia. And y'all, it's been said by many pundits, even on CNN and MSNBC, that if Kamala is ahead 3 points or less, that means she's probably going to lose because of the way the polls work. So, but she's not ahead in this real clear politics average in any of them.
Well, if you want to throw another, what I find to be interesting is Vegas.
Yeah.
The betting is definitely trending towards Trump.
Yeah.
And this is supposedly a pretty reliable marker.
So this right here, this is the Electoral College map with battleground states.
Okay,
All right. You see the battleground states are the ones that are in gray. So without counting them, just the ones that are Democrat, lean Democrat, Republican, lean Republican, it's at 219, 215 right now with 104 in the battleground states. Now, he's just saying, this average is just saying that since Trump, even if it's a 0.1, is ahead, let's remove them and give them to him. It goes to 312 to 226, Trump. If he wins the battlegrounds.
Right.
Now, he's not going to probably win all of them. He may. It's very possible that he may. There's people saying that he legitimately has a shot of winning New York.
Yeah, you keep talking about that.
That's crazy. And you remember I said here on the program, my prediction is that he's going to win the popular vote as well.
Yes.
And I said that 2 weeks ago.
Right.
That I feel like that's going to be the big shocker. I think most people are already sort of thinking, and by the way, don't let that stop you from voting. But
No.
Because they can sway this thing. I mean, she could still win. There's no doubt she could still win by many different things that they can do.
But I do agree with you on that. That would be the shocker.
Oh, that would be a huge shock.
Happen. I mean, that's
the mandate. That's the mandate. You get both of them. He could go in saying, I have a mandate. I don't care what you say, I have a mandate. And that's also going to affect the House and the Senate. Because if you win the popular vote, that means that the Republicans are having spillover effect.
Sure.
And it's running down to the other ballots. And then you got a strong Senate, you got a strong majority in the House, and you've got a mandate, and y'all, they will lose their mind.
Well, I'm just sitting here while you're calling all those points off, thinking in my mind, what does the country look like?
The country is
if
going
he has
to be
a mandate?
chaos.
What does society look like? What does the news look like every day? I don't know.
Well, then let's ask this question then. What the Federalist paper is asking, will the corrupt news media accept the election results if Trump wins? They always ask him that question. What about this? Will you accept it? Or will they start a war?
Right.
And it goes on to say it was such a fun time last week watching the perpetual drama queens that make up our national news media boil with rage over two newspapers declining to issue meaningless campaign endorsements. But it also revealed something unsettling about the unhealthy degree of emotional investment they have in this race. Will the media accept the outcome of the election if Donald Trump wins? It's far from a foregone conclusion that they will. There's a strong argument that they didn't last time that Trump won. Why would anyone accept that they would this time around?
Very good point. And it's all a wait and see.
Yeah, what's your prediction on our show that night? Which, if you come in late and you don't know anything about it, y'all better be with us on election night. Election
Join
night
us.
starting at 6 p.m. We are going to be live right here in our studio. We're going to have in-studio guests as well as
Right.
online guests.
Right.
We've already got Joseph Z lined up. We've got Todd Coconado lined up. And they're going to give about 30 minutes worth of just reaction to what's going on in that moment and get their perspective of where they see it. We've got Paul Begley that's going to be joining us as well. I'll be joining him on his show, probably on a couple of other shows. And, I'll have to give you the reins when I'm doing that because we can't go off the air. So you have to run the show while I go be on somebody else's show. Can you handle it? You ready for big
We
time?
end up talking about recipes and cooking, which is something I know absolutely nothing about. So that'll be interesting.
What am I hearing here? You're going to talk about recipes and cooking?
JK, we'll figure something out. But those three guests should have some interesting and insightful points of view.
Absolutely.
So I'm anxious for that. I'm anxious to see that and be a part of that.
So be a part of that. And oh, by the way, I've got good news and bad news. Only bad news because this man is so busy.
Yes.
We are still going to have our Halloween special, but Tony Merkel, unfortunately, is not going to be able to be with us. He had a scheduling conflict happen at the last minute.
Right.
And he's so busy. I told him, I said, man, it's okay. But we are still going to have a Halloween special. It will just not be with Tony. We've got another guest that we're working on being with us that night.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be very,
great.
very powerful. We're going to talk about the demonic realm. We're going to talk about what's going on in the world.
Exactly.
And then, of course, we got our brand new show. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Why has I got music on it? What just happened? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know why there's music playing, but wake up, wake up, wake up.
Well, you just like pressing buttons over there, and that's what happens. It's get out of control.
This is a new studio. Maybe it needed a little more drama.
Maybe.
But that's our new show. And you know what you told me when we first had this idea of having our new sit down talk show in our studio with our little warm fuzzy. If y'all saw it, she had it all decorated in fall and stuff. You told me that eventually we were going to have a cooking show too. That we was going to do a cooking segment. So can y'all imagine that we just take our little desk here and then one morning we're just sort of baking something while we're talking about issues?
This is an ongoing joke, obviously. People who don't cook or know about cooking shouldn't be talking about cooking. Maybe we'll bring someone in. I don't know. But yeah.
Okay, so look, I need to talk to my Christians.
Can talk to your people?
And talk to my people. I like this article, and I want to throw this in here. This is an opinion piece, but it is my opinion too. Calling all spiritual people to vote. You are the game changer. Mm-hmm. In the 2020 presidential election, despite record turnout, 80 million eligible voters did not vote.
Wow, that's crazy.
Of that number, 25 million Christians did not vote. Sadly, new research from the Cultural Research Center at Arizona Christian University, led by Dr. George Barna, that we're very familiar with, he's the best when it comes to Christian polling, indicates that millions more Christians are unlikely to vote this year.
For shame.
The university reported, quote, Barna's latest research shows that only 51% of all faith voters, defined as followers of any religion, not just Christianity, of any religion, are likely to vote in November. That means a full 104 million faith votes are unlikely to vote this election.
That hurts.
It hurts.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
What?
Including 41 million born-again Christians defined by their beliefs regarding sin and salvation and not self-identification. 32 million regular Christian church attenders and 14 million who attend an evangelical church will not vote. Wow. 104 million faith voters are unlikely to vote in this election. 41 million Christians not voting? That's 16 million more that didn't vote in 2020.
Okay, stop. That's 16 million more people
that did not vote in 2020.
Okay.
What is happening to the church? Yeah. Okay. Now watch this. The big question, why are they not voting? Yeah. The research pinpointed several reasons why Christians in particular are stepping away from the voting booth. 68% lack of interest in politics and elections. 57% dislike of all major candidates. 55% feel none of the candidates reflect their most important views. 52% believe their vote will not make a difference, and 48% think the election results will be manipulated. So let me just say to anyone that might be one of those people, I get it.
Sure.
I get it.
Some of those were very valid reasons,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I get it. And I agree with that. But here's what I want to remind you.
Yeah.
You are not electing a pastor. You are not electing a preacher, and you are not electing a holy man. Think about all the people that we've had as president that we know about their moral lives, but you still voted for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we know that we have two very polarizing people. And we do know that people have worshiped Donald Trump. They have turned him into a messiah.
Yes.
Which is
way
sickening.
over the top, way out of line, in my opinion.
It makes God sick, okay? We acknowledge that. We acknowledge that, just like any political figure, they will say whatever they need to say to vote and to get your vote and blah, 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 blah. But the reality is this. This election, and I would dare say every election from this point forward because of the world we live in now. But this election, more than any election of our lifetime, is a spiritual warfare election. There is the lives of children, not just unborn children on the line, the lives of small children who might be a little bit confused about who they are, and then all of a sudden they get put before a doctor, and then they have things done to them that's irrevocable or reversible, and they are tormented later in their lives. This is an election on...
Well, I'll take the step about the children. One step farther. So you're coming from a very specific point of view. Here's to go out broader. Here's another idea. If he can successfully do something about the border, we have hundreds of thousands of children unaccounted for.
Right.
It's safe to assume many of them have been pushed into the sex trade.
Yes.
How disgusting in this modern age of so much advancement, we cannot protect the innocence of children.
Come on.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It is. That's the children's side, which should be enough.
It should.
That should be enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone, we should, you take it from the womb, you take it to the trafficking angle that you're talking about, and then you take it to the transitioning and the identity and the gender politics and the things that they're doing.
And if we got all that right, we are lacking in preparing our children for adulthood, for going out into the world and launching out into any kind of productive life. We are not preparing them in the education field with just simple family skills. So many come from broken homes. We are failing across the board.
Absolutely. Then you go beyond that and you talk about, we do have a constitution. We are still a great country. And we look at what we're doing right now. Yes. Look at what we have the freedom to do. There are countries around this world that I would be put in jail the first time I ever did this. We have the freedom to do this, but we are losing that freedom. We are losing our freedom of speech. We are losing our freedom to worship freely, to make decisions.
Yep.
People keep saying, what about my body? What about my body? Well, here's what I want to ask. What about the woman who said, I don't want to put a jab in my body, but yet you threatened they're going to lose their livelihood? So it's only about your body when it's about this hill that you want to die on. Molly.
Wow, great point.
But it's not about your body when somebody else wants to go against the narrative. All of this is on the line.
Yes.
Somebody said, I had to hold my nose and vote the last time. So did I. But I voted for the Supreme Court. I saw the list of the Supreme Court justices that he promised he was going to choose from. He said, hold me to accountable, and he did it. He chose from that list, and on that list, at the top of everybody on that list was that they were pro-life. And y'all, they did something after 50 years that nobody ever thought would ever happen. Yes, abortion is still happening. Yes, in some states it's even worse than it was before, but it's in the hands of the states now. Here's the reality. There's other decisions that are coming down. He's going to have at least one, possibly two Supreme Court justices, he or she, which could shape the future of your children and your grandchildren's lives forever.
Yeah.
Because I think we all know that ultimately the Supreme Court sets it in stone. All of the things that we talk about of our world that changed and all this, it ended up at the Supreme Court. And then it became the settled law. Well, that's where this is going. So you got to hold your nose, but go vote for the platform, not the person, the platform that is as close to what you believe in as the other.
And let's protect this sacred right.
Yes.
Yeah. This many millions of people sitting out, just not participating. I mean, come on. It's not like that's going to be taken away from us tomorrow, but we need to appreciate this right.
Yes.
And exercise the right.
Well, let's look at this man right here. If you want to drive it home, people's forgot about these people. Yeah. This J6 political prisoner from prison begs, my life and so many others depend on this election. This is him. He made a video. He says, his name is Ryan Samsel. He called the Gateway Pundit on Sunday. Ryan urged all decent Americans to vote for President Trump for the President of the United States. Ryan's life depends on it. Ryan is not alone. The Biden-Harris administration has still over 1,200 opposition protesters, call them whatever you want to call them, rioters, whatever you want to call them. The bottom line is this, they were opposition protesters. They have been and has jailed over 460 Americans.
So that many are still 460 are still incarcerated.
I'm going to read the rest of it, but I think that's what it says. It says, this is the day that Nancy Pelosi refused President Donald Trump's previous request to bring in thousands of National Guard soldiers, blah, blah, blah. The rest is history. He says in this call-in, he says, I've been locked up ever since Ray Epps set me up at the front gate. My co-defendants all went home except one. And I'm still sitting here, and literally this call is from a federal prison. It's from a federal prison. My life and some of the others' lives depend on this. So at the upcoming election, it's so important that people go out and vote. If you can, bring somebody with you and vote. Because literally we've been given everything. I've literally given up everything. I've given up my home. I've given up my health. Readers noted that I had been assaulted because of the fact that I wasn't pleading guilty in terms of Trump. Is that time since I lost my father during that time. So he goes on to talk about how hard it's been. There are some people, and I'm not going to play it, but there are some people that have never even been charged yet. Some of the people are still in solitary confinement.
Yeah, that's what gets me. That's what gets me. And we're coming up
How
on
in the world?
4 years.
Yeah. Solitary confinement. And not even been charged.
How can this happen in this country, in our country, right?
Exactly. It's mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. There's a lot more going on, too. Whoever is elected president, the media has declared that Trump or Harris will be the bird flu pandemic president.
My goodness. As
human cases rise and Fed funds mRNA vaccine creation, it's happening. Goes on to say that the purported report has quietly found its way onto the homepage of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. Even calling it the bird flu, a dairy cow is literally the image. That's what they're pointing out. It's called bird flu, but the image is the cow. It's really weird. Of course, it's affecting, and I think that here is, this is this woman here, Crystal Heath, DVM. On October 8th, I visited Tulare County, California, where I found dead cows that had succumbed to H5N1 avian influenza lying on the side of the road. This was the first published footage of avian influenza-infected cows, and the story was published in Newsweek. So let's watch this lady here, see what she has to say.
Do you know what's happening in Tulare, California right now? I just drove there and took photos of what I found. The story ended up in Newsweek, but the photos were so graphic they refused to publish them. Tulare County is in the Central Valley of California and has more dairy cows than any other county in the United States. But avian influenza has swept across the county, infecting more than 100 dairies across the Central Valley. I saw bodies of dead cows piled up alongside the road with no signs warning anyone of the biosecurity risk. And the air was thick and buzzing with thousands and thousands of flies. These cows were found outside of Mendonça Farms, and these cows were found outside of Land O'Lakes Borges Dairy. And disturbingly, the first sign that a facility is infected is when the barn cats die after drinking the avian influenza infected milk. And now 11 dairy workers are suspected of being infected with the illness. The facility says they are following all state guidelines, but clearly those guidelines are lacking. They do not require any signs or barriers preventing people or animals from coming into contact with the infected bodies. The infected cows should also be sprayed with fly repellent to prevent flies from spreading the disease from farm to farm. Anya Radaba, CEO of Western United Dairies, did confirm that the cows did die of bird flu. She says there are so many cattle passing away from avian influenza that the rendering trucks are backed up, which is why the cattle had been left there for a period of time. But things could get much worse.
Wow. So what are your thoughts on that? And what are some of the people that you follow, are they talking about an uptick on bird flu?
Not anyone that I've been listening to lately, but we could go back weeks to a couple of months ago. We were talking about that not 11, but 2 or 3, I believe, workers were being observed, watched, maybe quarantined because they were concerned about that they had, gotten it, right?
Yeah.
And they were, the crazy story of they were wanting to test weekly.
Yeah.
All of these animals, which was totally crazy and ridiculous. That's the most extreme, so expensive. This story from this woman, now it is in this one area, supposedly.
Right.
I have not seen anything as extreme as what she presented.
That was pretty disturbing.
Yeah, it was.
But y'all.
And I hope that is the absolute truth.
Yeah, me too.
Because that's the first and only thing that I've seen on that level.
Yeah, it did sort of feel like, as you watch the rest of the video, which we didn't show it, she's very pro that we need to get busy on the vaccine.
Sure.
So it did feel like sort of trying to push the narrative.
Yeah.
But the fact that multiple media outlets are calling the next president going to be the president of the bird flu, they're letting you know.
Yes.
This is coming. This is the next wow. And remember, the World Health Organization and even Klaus Schwab predicted the one that's coming, disease X, is bigger. It will make the other one look like elementary school, is what Klaus Schwab said.
True.
So they're thinking a conglomerate, a combining of different variants and different viruses. So who knows what they got cooked up.
Those of you who follow Paul Begley, I think it was several years ago that he attended a Mensa meeting. I think that's correct.
Yeah.
And they were seeding the thought into everyone's minds then that they didn't use the word pandemic, but something is coming. It's probably going to be avian.
Yep.
And it's going to be the worst thing ever.
Yep.
And we're continuing with that theme. We are laying the groundwork. I just keep going back to predictive programming, laying the groundwork, seeding the minds of everyone that this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And, it takes years, right?
Right.
You just have to take years. And some of these things take decades upon decades to come to pass. But you can certainly see that there's an intention there. Yeah. When it happens, when it really breaks out, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just happened to look over at the comment section. I want to respond to one of the person's comments was asking about why one of their comments was deleted. Unless it is a very offensive statement to where you are trying to harass someone in the live chat or using language and you will not listen to people saying, hey, don't use the language and you're just out of control. Our admins are not going to do that. But what I found is YouTube is literally hiding many of your comments. So when I go in and look at the comments ever so often, I will find many of your comments that were hidden as offensive, that the algorithm says this was offensive. And I'll look at it and I'll be shocked because it was just something about God or something about, if it's a link, if you put a link in there, it's never going to get posted. It's always going to get flagged because it has to protect against other links coming in there. So don't ever try to share links in the live chat because they'll never survive. But I'm just letting you know that to whoever that was, we're not deleting comments. YouTube is probably hiding your comments. So I just wanted you to know that. And I see that all the time. So, and some of them are very offensive, basically like threats against me that is protected from me. But some of them are just, there's no reason for them to be that way. And some of them, YouTube's just deleting them. The algorithm's just deleting the comment. So that's where it's going. Speaking of hacking and things, watch this. Some of you may or may not have heard about this, but China hacked Trump's phone days after intelligence community downplays Chinese election interference. They literally hacked their Verizon phones, which we found out that Trump has Verizon through this. The U.S. intelligence community foreign malign influence center.
For all of those of you who were wondering.
For those inquiring minds. I wonder who Trump uses for his service. Updated briefly by the U.S. government interagency task force, multiple representatives from the Office of Director of National Intelligence, the FBI, and others, Homeland Security, says the formal statement released after the session with 40 media representatives stated foreign actors, particularly Russia, Iran, and China, remain intent on fanning divisive narratives and divide Americans and undermine Americans. And it says that it goes on to say that their phones were hacked, and is information being shared with Iranian assassins? Because remember, they had said, the intelligence said that they were going to try to take out Trump as well.
Yeah.
And so now they're saying that, their phones have been hacked. Is their location being shared? Is their private text being shared of where they're going to be with their families and stuff like this? Y'all, they're pulling out all the stops.
Yes.
But every time I read this about election interference, Russian, Chinese, Iranian now, election interference, you know what my mind goes to now? Because you did this to me. You just red pilled me so much. My mind goes to
I will not take responsibility for anything that I don't know what you're about to say. What are you saying?
My mind goes to, they're just saying Russia and China and Iran when it's really just America. America is doing it. Our own intelligence industry is trying to lead this, because if there's anything that Joe Biden gave us, he gave us confirmation that our president is no longer the president, no matter who they are. That it's run by people that were unelected. Am I right? Is it not? Did he not reveal to us that we really don't need a president? And could it be the reason that they hate Donald Trump so much is when he was in there, he was the only one that said, "You're not going to run me." There's got to be a reason why they hate him so much. Because
you make a good argument there, sir.
Because it's apparent now that Bush was ran by them, probably to some extent. And I love this man. Reagan was run by them. Clinton,
Well,
Obama.
certainly I've listened to many people that believe that Kennedy was assassinated for getting out of line.
Yeah, right.
Having thoughts and ideas and trying to push those forward, and he couldn't be reeled back in, and I'm sure he was warned, whatever, if that is true. So you can put him up there. You could even put Lincoln up there if you want to dig deeper and listen to certain people.
Yeah.
He couldn't be swayed to carry the water and toe the party line and stay in line.
And then you go further and say, they tried to take this one out before he even got in because of what he said he was going to do. And I don't know if he'll be able to pull it off, but he is emphatically saying, he was on one of the things he said on Rogan too, and I've seen him say it on several podcasts. They asked him about, why did you not release the JFK files? And he said, I was ready to. And he said, I had some people that I really trust that are good people. and some that are not so good people now that I know that is what he said. Some are bad people, very bad people, bad people. And he said, they asked me, please do not do this. Because they said it had addresses in it, and a handful of people were still alive. And that's what they used it for.
Wow.
But he said this, he said, but I've made it very clear to everyone that I am going to release them. And he said, I'm just going to release them. And I'm going to tell you, Joe Rogan said, he tried to get him to say it. He goes, have you read them? Have you seen them? Is it because people are implemented what am I trying to say?
Not indicated. What is the word you're trying to say?
Why can't we talk right now? That they were accused of being the people that actually took him out. Yeah. And
Implicated.
That's what implicated. Yeah, implicated. And he said you'll just have to wait till I release him. And so I got a feeling that that's part of the reason why they want to take him out, because he said I don't know if he can do it, but he said he's going to release the guy's files. I'm not going to say his name, but the guy that had the island that just all of a sudden unalived himself, but he really didn't. Yeah. Can y'all believe that his name is one of the biggest things you'll get flagged for? Can you believe that? Why can't you say his name? Why can't you say this man's name? Dangerous. But it's the same thing with, it ain't gonna be long. You ain't gonna be able to say, did he?
No, I think
because the same thing.
I think he's useful right now. Yeah, he's being seriously used as a distraction. So I think that's okay right now in this.
Did he or did he?
Did he or did he?
Has anybody said that before? Or is that original?
I haven't heard that one.
Did he? Or
did he? Or did he?
Did he? Did he? Did he?
Anyway, moving on.
Are you having fun?
So much.
Oh, by the way, real quick, this is the fast one. This is the fast one here. The deadlines are finally here. TSA mandates everyone must have the real ID in 2025. Watch this, if you want to fly in your own country. And I saw it on the news today. Fox News, before I left the hotel and flew back this morning, they were talking about this. And you know what they said? They said in the real ID with the chip that's going to be in it, it's going to have your biometric in it.
Oh, how nice. What I'm hearing is control.
That's what it's all about. That's all it's about. So let's rapid fire here. Well, maybe it's time for a walk.
Come on, Uncle Jimmy! And Cousin Cosmo, too.
Jimmy! The Supernatural AI Update.
This little guy is so excited that you guys can finally see him in his true appearance, right?
He used to be blue.
Yeah, so he's here to do his part tonight in supporting Uncle Jimmy and all things AI and supernatural. How about that?
Yes. Yeah. And we do appreciate him and
Cousin Cosmo.
We is aliens real? Do you believe in aliens?
Well, let's just stick to the news.
I've met a few people that I thought was probably what is that that Joseph Z calls them, lizard overlords, mafia,
wicked evil wizard overlords.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Joseph Z, if you're watching,
yeah.
Sometimes he watches us in the background.
We love you, Joseph Z.
And he'll be with us on our election night coverage.
Say goodbye, Cousin Cosmo.
Bye, Cosmo.
Yes, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome, y'all. So let's rapid fire through some AI things here real quick. Researchers show that an AI-powered transcription tool used in hospitals is inventing things that no one ever said.
Who would have ever guessed that this could happen?
Exactly. Y'all, we're already here. This is not coming. Tech behemoth OpenAI has touted its artificial intelligence-powered transcription tool called Whisper as having, quote, near human level robustness and accuracy. But Whisper has a major flaw. It is prone to making up chunks of text or even entire sentences, according to interviews with more than a dozen software engineers. developers and academic researchers. Those experts said some of the invented texts known in the industry as hallucinations can include racial commentary, violent rhetoric, and even imagined medical treatments. How does that make you feel? That the medical world is using AI to transcribe, watch this now, what the doctors are saying. Remember the things where they'd always say,
Yes.
today I took care of
Dictation.
one of my toughest patients ever. Her
Right.
name was Sandy Lynn Ragland.
I think she's an extremist just by a few things she said.
some of the
Or
things-
maybe just what she was thinking. I don't know.
I was trying to give her the jab, and I thought she was going to punch me in the face.
No, that part's true.
And the
I will
AI
not be taking any wow-whas.
and the AI would transcribe it as, today I met this beautiful blonde. She was very attractive. I thought she was, and blah blah blah, and that's what it's saying it's doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, so the doctors are going back and looking at their transcriptions,
Looking at their own supposed notes from dictation.
and they're finding racial overtones. They're finding anger and bitterness, and they're finding invented medical procedures that do not exist that they recommended on the transcript.
Okay,
This is the AI world we're going to.
crazy. And okay, what is the agenda for this even happening? I will say again, I don't know what the full agenda for this is, but clearly they don't need humans anymore.
No, they don't.
And
It's already
this
over.
looks like another attempt to just help get rid of you.
Absolutely. Because there's going to be a lazy doctor that's going to go back and look at his notes, his transcript of his notes, and it's going to say, and I recommended that I gave this, and this, and they're going to forget that they didn't really do it, and they're going to rely on it, and they're going to do it, and somebody's
Sure.
going to lose their life.
Lose their life.
Yeah.
And if you're in Canada, you might be recommended for euthanasia.
They're already doing that for the jab people that has jab injuries in Canada. They're already using that to let them leave this earth.
So that is active process for those.
They're offering it to the wah injured that are suffering at such a length because of the wah. They're offering the ability to leave this earth through their machines. That's all I'm gonna say. If y'all know what we're talking about, you know what we're talking about.
Okay.
It's becoming one of the leading causes of death in Canada
I
right now.
have not heard that.
Yep.
Obviously, we have talked about euthanasia as a general choice.
Yep.
Generally, specifically, I have not heard that it going that way.
I mean, it doesn't
towards
just anybody
the
don't get
wah-wah.
to do it, but it's the extreme cases. But those that are coming out of that are injured, they're calling it, wah injured. But we know what that means is that some of them are being offered that way and they're choosing it.
Wow, I don't even know what to say about that.
All right, well, Sandy,
That might even be about to get the Golden Chicken Award for tonight. I'm
yeah.
going to hold out for a minute, but wow.
Well, if you were not mad before, you're about to be mad. And watch this. We predicted this one in real time when we pushed our shopping cart through this. When I saw this, I said, I'm not even going to tell Sandy about this. I'm going to get her live reaction. Sam's Club, which is a place that my wife goes every week, debuts AI-powered, completely cashierless store of the future.
Oh, there's none in the entire store.
In the entire Sam's Club. This is insane. This past week, Sam's Club in Grapevine, Texas, reopened after it had been heavily damaged in a 2022 tornado and is now marked as the company's store of the future. The Sam's Club location has no cashiers, no self-checkout
I
kiosks.
promise you, when Walt Disney started that part of the park, Tomorrowland, whatever, there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. I promise you, he did not foresee this.
He did not foresee this. All right, so let's get back into this.
Calm down, Sandy. Calm down.
It has no cashiers and self-checkout kiosks, but forces customers to use the store's Scan and Go app, an app that allows customers to scan the barcode of the product they want, add it to their list, and when they exit the store, scans the app on their phone to confirm their purchase. Now, when you see the picture, I'm going to scroll down and show you. You're going to remember what I said in Sam's Club. This is a video of it, but here is the picture of it if I can get down to it.
Yes.
Remember when they put that in our store?
Yes.
I want to know if you go to Sam's or Costco, but all we know is Sam's. We don't have a Costco where I live. There is one. But
We don't go.
We don't go to it. But they installed 2 of these in our store. And, they used to check your receipt, then they'd scan your cart.
Yeah.
They started slowly integrating this to where some people now, you just push your cart through it. And those cameras in our Sam's takes a picture of your cart and nobody has to scan it and it gives you approval. But here's the thing. Watch this. Digitally engaged members, people who use Scan and Go, the computer vision enabled receipt verification, exits, and shop online spend 3 times as much as what they're saying. I don't know why they say that.
Okay, hang on.
People
using this technology are
Scan and Go.
spending 3 times
Scan and Go. They're spending 3 times as much. I guess it's just impulse buying. They don't have to swap a card and look at it or whatever. I don't know. But they have higher renewal rates. Said during this conversation, chain-wide, about 30% of Sam's Club customers use Scan and Go when visiting the company store, and half of its customers are digitally engaged. So it says what it says to us is it doesn't matter whether you're Gen Z or the greatest generation, what income level you are, whatever your background is. Once you allow yourself to be connected to the digital ecosystem, you never go backwards. Wow. So this store, so now when you go to your store and you see these in your store, which most of you have this in your store, you know what it is for in the future. It is not to scan. Remember when I asked that lady, I said, is this going to be doing your job for you? She's like, oh, no.
I've got job security.
Got job security. This is just the extra security. I said, I hate to tell you.
Yeah.
I told her, I said, I hate to tell you, but that's going to be doing your job for you. And here's what we're finding about in Great Van, Texas. It's doing the job of every cashier.
Everybody.
Now, they got stalkers. Yeah. And the workers, the Sam's Club workers are outside. They're lined up, big deal, got balloons. They're all excited about their new Sam's that has no cashiers.
They're out there cheering for their own demise, and they don't even know it.
What in the world?
So yes. That story is getting the Golden Chicken Award for tonight. Cannot deal with this. I need a coffee right now. Oh my gosh.
Well, we've already given the chicken award away. We might as well just go ahead and honor the chicken. If you wasn't terrified of AI and robots before, how about one that's the robot dog who now operates underwater?
Oh, it wasn't enough for him to just walk on terra firma.
Oh, you scared Cookie.
Oh, Cookie, we're sorry, Cookie.
You heard the golden chicken, didn't you?
She thought that I had her toy.
She thought she had
Mommy, what are you doing with my toy?
Oh,
give me my toy back.
Her, baby, bless her. Yeah. All right, so let's watch this wonderful future that we have here. This is our future.
In the great big beautiful tomorrow.
Listen to that's the sound it makes underwater. And how terrifying would that be?
That's not eerie at all.
No. Look at this.
And they're just as excited as they can be
They're
about
so
this.
excited.
This is so awesome. Never I thought if I make this thing mad, it could destroy me, like shred me from limb to limb.
Not only can it shoot you and take you out above ground, if you jump in the water to try to hide.
I hope you're happy, okay? Do you see what this show does to me week after week? I'm here paying the prices. I don't even have a coffee tonight.
And so look, people are wondering why Jeff Bezos is so wanting to leave this earth in a spacecraft. Well, guess what? His article says Jeff Bezos reportedly has secretive personal reasons for wanting to escape to Mars. This is the owner of Amazon. He reportedly made a cryptic admission to a power broker, and a strange comment is taking on new significance in light of another recent message he's sending to the public. It says that, once again, I'm reflecting on the time I interviewed a powerful guy who knows Jeff Bezos and who offhandedly told me Jeff has a personal reason for wanting to get to Mars. And I'm not comfortable sharing what that is, what they are.
Okay.
Larson jokingly followed up with his own tweet with a seemingly reference to the newspaper's tagline, "Democracy dies in darkness," which has been taken up to the aftermath of Donald Trump's first presidential win in 2016. It says that he's on the record of saying that he wants to find a way to leave and go live on Mars and leave Earth. He wants to leave Amazon and leave Earth. But watch this right here. He says, "I would love to see 1 trillion humans living in the solar system." Bezos told Friedman last December. It was on a podcast, Lex Friedman. Quote, "If we had 1 trillion humans, we would have at any given time 1,000 Mozarts and 1,000 Einsteins. The only way to get that vision is with a great science stations. The planetary surfaces are just way too small." So he's putting it out there, and I think he thinks, boy, I'm going to have to be careful here. I think he thinks that he's found a way to live forever so that he can actually enjoy this.
Okay.
So,
you know what I say?
What do you think about that?
Go for it.
Yeah.
If you can get more people to go with you, we'll just have more space down here.
Hey, and by the way, let me know, Sandy has always said she wants her own spaceship. And,
I'm getting my own spaceship.
And she's going to go.
That's done.
I told her, I said, we're going to fly through space one day in the rapture. And we go. She's like, I'm going to do that too, but I want my own spaceship before that.
No, I told you I want two.
You want two?
I want a sports model, and then I want one that's big enough to take all my friends with me.
Crazy.
It's going to happen.
Have you ever heard of the guy, Charlie Kirk?
Yes.
Okay. So Charlie Kirk had something really interesting happen to him this week. So a U.S. pilot was stunned by strange circular lights maneuvering 80,000 feet over New Mexico. During an extraordinary encounter, pilots of a commercial flight distinctly observed mysterious bright circles high above their altitude, confidently declaring them to be, quote, not airplanes. In a decisive move, they summoned podcast host Charlie Kirk to the cockpit, capturing their astonishing reactions on video. So I actually saw this on Charlie Kirk's X. I follow him. And this is his personal X. And this is what he filmed. He says, I will have to click this to get the full thing on X. He says, "I was flying back from Wisconsin on a friend's plane tonight and got called up to the cockpit. The pilots were confused at what they were seeing. Something was above them and not showing on radar. I'm sure there is a logical explanation here. Watch this video and tell me what I'm missing."
You're about to see them again. Just watch up above the horizon, and they're going to get really bright, and then they're going to go away. See them? There's two of them right there. Those are not airplanes.
Yeah, they keep circling.
You can barely see it. There they come. See them?
And they're going to go away.
You see the dots, the dim.
And
there's nothing on your radar right now?
No, there's nothing there. I can zoom out.
Now the light's going out.
They're gone.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
A couple times in this area. But
we're flying over New Mexico?
A couple times in this area in New Mexico.
You know, like
Roswell?
Roswell.
Which is Roswell, which is where all those...
Los Alamos.
Weird stuff happens. But they're going to go again.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
They've been doing it for like the past hour.
What do you think they are?
Logic would say satellites. But satellites go in a line. These are like circling.
Are they like high propulsion devices, you think?
I don't know.
Is that how an aircraft would fly?
We're at 40,000 feet. So whatever that is has got to be at 80,000 or 100,000. There's got to be way up there.
80,000 to 100,000 feet. Charlie Kirk saw this with his own eyes.
Yeah.
So is this disclosure? Is this more and more disclosure?
Well, he's obviously among the growing number of people that are seeing something, right?
Yeah.
More and more we're getting reports that people see things in the night sky. They see things in the daytime.
Right. Well, I got one more creepy thing to show you.
Just one?
Just one more, and I'll tell you the headline, and I'm going to show you the headline, and then I want to show you the video. It's called Inventor Builds 6 Robot Copies of Himself, Uses one to give speeches and take questions from the audience. And I have video to prove it, and I'm going to show it to you in 30 seconds.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
We are certainly awake. Yes. All right. So let's go to this article. Inventor builds 6 robot copies of himself, uses one to give speeches and take questions from audience.
Now, I've heard of a narcissist, but this is over the top.
Yeah. Okay. So he says, Japanese inventor Hiroshi Ishiguro. It's
good, babe.
Thank you. Has created a whopping 6 robot clones of himself over the last 18 years, each bearing an increasingly close resemblance to himself. His latest creation, dubbed Geminoid H16, is lifelike teleoperated android version of his physical likeness currently being displayed in his lab at Osaka University. The bot was designed to make his life easier. In fact, it's been taking over some of his tasks in flesh and blood creator doesn't have time for with the help of AI.
If he'd stop trying to make so many robots and work on robots, he'd have more time to do his own stuff, right?
No, Sandy. I mean, you're trying to stop progress. All right, here we go.
My first robot was maybe more than 35 years ago. When I was a PhD candidate, I created that small movable robot. And then I created interactive robots 24 years ago. When I developed the first robot, people were talking about the importance of appearance, not research. So that was a trigger to start the Android studies. My first humanoid robot, it was around the 2000. It was a copy of my daughter. And then around the 2006, I have created my first Geminoid. The Geminoid is the copy of a person. My name is Hiroshi Ishiguro. I'm a professor of Osaka University and the visiting director of ATR, Hiroshi Ishiguro Laboratory.
Thank you very much.
This is Osaka University. So I want to talk about the human-robot interactions.
Effective interaction relies on empathy, active listening, and the ability to interpret context and body language. In my research, we aim to replicate these qualities in robots to make interactions more natural and meaningful.
In addition to this robot, we have created so many different types of robots.
Thank you for coming.
This is a social robot, and this is good for the young children.
We're happy to get to know you.
It's good for the children.
And then we call this robot the skeleton robot.
What?
What do you call it?
Did you say skeleton?
That looked like our robot.
This is also the human. And then we
like
call this robot.
That's our robot. That's the iRobot.
Robot the skeleton.
Look, he made it.
I can see it just like everybody else.
Robot.
We're all creeped out.
This is also human-like, but this one has a more mechanical looking. This is not the only place for my research. I have another big laboratory.
He's got a whole staff.
Yeah.
He's got a whole office working for him, that robot.
In the ATR. Welcome to the ATR. This is the Research Institute for the Robotics and Brain Science. Konnichiwa. So this is the Android receptionist. The name is Erika.
I assure you, we are not robots.
And this Android has a 2 modes. One is autonomous interactive mode. The other is a teleoperated mode. So today we are preparing a very special installation for you.
Creepy.
I'm Akane Kikuchi. I work as a creative director. This installation is also examining new relationship between.
It's quite important to feel the intimacy to the robot.
Okay.
To accept
okay.
It's important. Did he say it's important?
Intimacy. Okay.
Intimacy.
Another level of creepiness just crept in here.
Intimacy.
We're getting over into the Erie Valley, where it's lifelike enough that it starts freaking people out. That latest model he had of himself, okay, you could still tell that it wasn't him, but it was getting a lot closer to looking like him. So
well, look,
I'm out.
This is his last version.
I'm done.
This is his last version.
Oh, there's more.
That's his last version. Let's back it up just a little bit. That's his last version.
Important research tools. So by comparing the Android and humans, so we can
I forgot. Sorry. All right, here we go. This is his last version right here.
Research tools. So by comparing the Android and humans, so we can understand what humanity.
Look, even his neck, his skin on his neck is like a human.
No.
Oh, he winked at us. No.
Oh, look at the time. My goodness.
Yeah. Time for us to go. Been another wonderful night with our Big Picture family. We love you guys. I hope you enjoyed tonight. Did you enjoy tonight?
So much.
Bye, y'all. I hit that accidentally.
Love you guys.
We love y'all. I'm still learning all this new stuff that y'all bought. We won't. Send our way.
Yeah.